I'm going to tell you a story, but the first thing you have to understand is time doesn't work the way you think it does. Especially for Sarva Para Margahiti Balama Rana. Especially not on the steps of the path of the fool's manner of dying. So, when last we spoke of the fool, he had just had visions of a twin star indicator. And now, he has visions of the moon and the soma kazakamasa Devayonarakta Chandra Mahalaya, or the moon, ether-filled cup. Devayonarakta, or sulfur, or essentially divine feminine, more or less. Chandra Mahalaya, or moon temple. The moon, hidden enemies, danger, calumny, darkness, terror, deception, error, reversed, instability, inconstancy, silence, lesser degrees of deception, and error. The moon is often associated with dreams and subconscious, which is basically where the scary parts of what we experience on a day-to-day life go in the back of our brain and just like hang out there, and that's a lot of where our dreams come from, at least the scary ones. The moon, uncivilized, wild, untamed, emotion, and impulse overriding reason. Something hidden emerges, which may cause discomfort, confusion, anxiety, and fear. Irrational thinking or behavior, believing an illusion is real. Letting go of conscious control, uncensored creativity, tapping into the subconscious dreams, forgotten memories. The moon is actually, in terms of because each person has a subconscious, obviously. The moon is essentially the part of our conscious that lets us watch like a stage show or a movie and enjoy it. It's what allows us to suspend disbelief. Reverse meaning. Strong repressions emerge, causing confusion, distortion, anxiety, fear, distorted or disturbed thinking, mental illness, hallucination, self-deception, mental blackout. So essentially, what that's talking about is in cases of an imbalance between your manosvijnana, or your mind, like your mind sutra, and your krista manosvijnana, which is essentially how you differentiate between what's just inside your mind and what's actually present from your five senses. Because sometimes when we have distorted thinking, when we have like a mental issue that is a chemical imbalance, it lets us not perceive samsara correctly, lets us not interact with reality in a realistic way. That's essentially what's happening. Is chemically speaking, our brain, our mastika, is having its perception of the five sensory strings, the five sensory vijnana, interfered with by something. Could be any number of things, honestly, and that causes a diluted awareness. And essentially, the seventh string is to help us determine what is, what's actually of samsara from our physical senses, and what is still of samsara, but not necessarily recognizable by our physical senses. Where was I going with this? Oh, right. And then we have the moon from the Tarot of the Spirit. Important thing about, as I bring up the Tarot of the Spirit, specifically for the moon as related to like the Purana or the Mahasvapna, is very, very important, just in general. So, The moon. You cannot see the future clearly, but you must stay on your chosen path. Trust your intuition. At your darkest hour, you will find that you hold your own light. Use your own light to overcome your fears. Shedding your light on your fears will propel you towards self-understanding, strength, and self-confidence. Through this process, you will heal and move forward into happiness. The moon is very important in dealing with chaya karma or shadow work, and like looking through your own subconscious and being like, this is mine. And if it's something that was not mine, figuring out where it came from. Like, both of my parents loved coffee. Loved coffee. They love it. They love it. I love the smell of it, but I'm not a big fan of the taste of it. I'm one of those people that when they have coffee, realistically has more cream and sugar in it than actual coffee, because I like the smell. And there are there are connections between like the Gravignan and the Jovignan, the sense, the nose consciousness and the tongue consciousness. But like, I mean, I like coffee makes me think of my both of my parents. It just does. And like there is a degree of like sentimentality to that, and that perfectly makes sense to me. But there is no part of me that like likes coffee. That's just because I was taught that I'm supposed to like coffee, for example. Because a lot of people like, oh, I can't live without my coffee, but realistically they can't live without their insane amount of sugar and vague coffee flavoring. So Lurka has witnessed the opening of the gates of heaven, the first war, the first war, and then moved on to seeing how the universe intends to heal from, the Mahalaya, the primordial war, which is essentially just recovering, literally just trying to find ways for everyone to be happy as they can. Some people are still going to fight. There's still going to be Yada. There's still going to be Yada. There's still going to be, but there's also still going to be Kama. There's still going to be love. There's still going to be war, and there's going to be both. It's just how it is. Up until we get to a point where we just don't need Yada anymore. But so then, after he sees the visions of the planets and each of the Sattva Graha, each of the entities of those planets, the if we're going to go by the if we're going by White Wolf exalted, the Kamari of the various planets, and being Priyadatta, Budi Zukra, Priyadatta, Agaraka, Gurgraha, Zani, and Yama. After he was exalted by those seven and told Sayame Bhajati, truth must prevail. Um, he was whisked from planet to planet for his exaltation by each of them, and then he was whisked back to the moon. So this is a case of where, like, during his vision, he is moving hither and thither. He's essentially astrally projecting while his body is in a state, like, near death. So, Holy Grail Moon Temple. The Soma Kamasa Devyana Rakta Chandra Mahalaya. There, you also see, whoa, Dve Ata, or two towers. There's the Ati, Zugizagana, Zugizagana, Zaza, Vark. There's a fourth one. Oh, Capote. So, the fox, the moon rabbit, the white wolf, and the dove. And then there is the Atakarsna, Naga. Oh, in the case of the Zergala, it's Zergala Navan Pucha, or nine-tailed fox. In the case of the Naga, it's Naganavan Graha, because it's a nine-headed Naga. Atakarsna, Naganavan Graha, and that he goes to that temple, or he goes to that tower and he climbs to the top of it. And at the end, they collectively mahayate purnama, or exalt him by the full moon. And then he goes by the Black Tower. Yeah, he did the full moon first. That's just how it is, I guess. And they, after he was tested by the Naga, the Sarpa, uh, the Balu, the Kakola, so like that's essentially like he's tested by death entities and life entities. In the case of life entities, it's the nine-tailed fox and the um, the moon rabbit and and then on the other tower it's death entities like the raven, the bear, and the nine-headed naga, as well as the Krishna Vidya, because you have the Zukivark and the Krishna Vidya, the black dog. And after he has been tested by all four and reached the top, he is Varyati Nastakandra and exalted by the moonless. And after he comes down to that, he walks down and he is greeted by two representatives for it, because the Arazuki is about being Devadatta, being heaven's slave, and the Adhikarsana is about being Narakavarga, or the health chapters. And so he goes down to the edge of the water, which is essentially him leaving the temple. And as he does so, he is Mahikarote Aravitu, exalted by the half moon, where he has learned the lessons of both towers and come to a kuxi of equilibrium inside himself by witnessing of the miracles thereof. That's what I'll wind up this, but first I'll do a little review of the way they are. So I'm going to be putting these on. I'm going to be doing essentially, if you've seen the rest of the channel, you know I've done this before with, I believe, with mostly the same fruits. I think I had a dragon fruit instead of one of these, but here is a nimbo, a nimbo, a jambera. Where are you? A serrala. There's actually a couple different words for like all of these. Just pointing it out. And a prasu. And the kiwi phallus. So after he has come from the end of this and he has learned all of the secrets of Devayoni Rakta, or of essentially alchemical sulfur, he has come to realize he is of possessing Diksha Phala, or the fruit of initiation. Phala. Phalos. Diksha Phalos. It's a Diksha Phalos. These are now Diksha Phalos. And this is Oracle singing to you about the visions of the plan plus 3 of Merca, the true fool. 10 plus 3, that would be 3 dimensions we live in, and the 10 metaphysical that you understand Kabbalah true supports we. From Keter, the top down to the Yasad, cause that's the foundation of the Prema Mahasvapna, intersecting with Mahazunyata Vasra. Vasra is in crossroads intersection. See you at the next time of the end. Oh, quick, no, that would be because of his trials. The Murka is now Pandita Savanyana, scholar of every knowledge. That would be what he got from the moon wind. 'cause he was moonwalking so soft by the way of the Mahasvapna. That would be the Akasha Tara. Might drop to the Satasvapna. Dream safely, everyone, especially if you jaunt up to Soma. If you want a Astatara Svapna, jaunt and be nice when you go to Luna. And that would be Oracle saying to ye, sing to you next time you in the weave.